Hey guys, welcome to Cara's Cucina, YouTube's first and only Emmy-nominated cooking show. I'm Cara Di Falco, and today I am going to be showing you a perfect, hearty, rich winter dish. We're going to make lasagna bechamel. Obviously, we're shooting at home today, so we have to kind of turn things around for you, but I just want to talk briefly about our ingredients. So to make our bechamel sauce, we have some butter, a bit of flour, 3 cups of milk. We're going to season that with a little nutmeg and some Parmesan cheese. We're also going to be using radicchio in our lasagna today. So radicchio, I've already sliced up, but it's a really small head of lettuce. It's bright red like that. And then the leaves are really tightly packed. So when you slice it up, you can actually kind of pull them apart a little bit, and that'll give you a little more volume. And we're just gonna leave this raw and layer it into our lasagna once we get building it. This does have a bit of a bitter taste, but it's gonna go really well with the fatty richness of the bechamel sauce. And then we're also going to be using mushrooms as one of the layers as well. So I have about 1.5 pounds of baby bella mushrooms sliced up already. We're gonna season these with some thyme, and I've got about 1/2 onion that I chopped as well, again, just to kind of give everything a little more flavor. Of course, we have our lasagna sheets, so we're gonna start by making our bechamel sauce. To start off, we're just gonna let our butter melt down until it's completely liquid. To our butter, we're gonna add in about 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour, and we're gonna sift it in so that we don't get lumps in our sauce. So, whisk what kind of fell in, and then just give it a little tap with the whisk as you go. And this is gonna thicken up and almost make like a paste. We just wanna keep an eye on it. We don't want it to turn too brown. So we have our nice thick paste now. Finally, we're going to add in 3 cups of milk. And we're gonna let this cook, and we're gonna keep whisking to make sure it stays nice and smooth. But this should cook for just under 10 minutes. And you can test it by just dipping a spoon in it. And as long as it coats the back of the spoon, you're good to go. So we can see now that the sauce is much thicker than it was when it started. We've got some bubbles in the center. And we can also check it with the spoon. We see it's nice and thick, sticks to the back of the spoon. And you do want to give it a taste, because now we're going to season it. You can even feel when you taste it that it's gotten thicker. So I'm going to take it off the heat. And we are going to add in just a little bit of Parmesan cheese, about 1/4 cup. Little pinch of salt, because cheese is salty. Some fresh black pepper. And just a little bit of nutmeg. Get this all mixed in. Oh, now it smells amazing. Okay, and that's our sauce for our lasagna. We're just gonna set this aside while we cook down our mushrooms. To cook our mushrooms, I have a large saute pan heating over medium heat. We're gonna add in just a little bit of olive oil. We're actually gonna start with our onion that I chopped up. So again, just about 1/2 onion. This was a pretty small one. Just to add a little bit of extra flavor to our mushrooms. We'll let these saute for about 3 minutes. Our onions are nice and soft, they're a bit translucent, so we're gonna start adding in the mushrooms. And obviously, mushrooms take up a lot of volume while they're raw, but once they start to cook down, you'll see they really start to shrink. But we're kind of gonna have to add them in batches. And they're also gonna release quite a bit of liquid. There's a good deal of water in mushrooms. Okay, let these start to cook down. Give them some time, nice fresh thyme. Hey, Roxy girl, you want some lasagna? Later. Got all of our mushrooms into the pan. They are nice and soft. It did take about 10 minutes. You can see all the liquid that they did release, so they're nice and juicy as well. And then I just seasoned them with a little bit of salt and pepper. So we're gonna set these aside, and now we can start building our lasagna. So I have our Pyrex dish here ready to roll, and I'm gonna start with just a thin layer of the bechamel sauce in the base of the pan. We can see as it cooled, it got even thicker. Okay, we're gonna layer in our lasagna sheets. If you have to break them to fit, that's fine. Now we'll add in some mushrooms. As well as some radicchio. And guys, if you can't find radicchio, you don't like it, you don't want to use it, you can use chard, you could use kale, you could use spinach if that is more your speed. But I just thought this was kind of a fun way to use a little bit of a different winter vegetable. And I like the color in this. Bechamel sauce. And a little bit of Parmesan cheese. And you see, we're not using ricotta in this lasagna at all. The bechamel sauce is plenty rich enough, plenty fatty enough that we really don't need much more than a little sprinkle of Parmesan in between each layer. And that's what also makes the radicchio nice in this, is it does have that bitter flavor, so it kind of balances the fat and the richness in the bechamel sauce. And then the mushrooms give it a nice earthy flavor. So we build another layer just like that. To finish off our lasagna, I have one last layer of pasta. We're gonna put the last little bit of bechamel on top of that. And a nice sprinkle of parm, and I'm gonna grab a spatula so I can get all of this out of here. Okay, and we'll finish everything off with a little more Parmesan. Okay, oven's been preheated to 350 degrees. We're gonna cover this with foil, bake it for about 20 to 25 minutes. Give it a check, it should be nice and bubbly. Take the foil off and put it back in for another 15 till the top gets nice and golden brown. Let your lasagna rest for just a little bit to let the bechamel sauce thicken up once again. Otherwise, it'll be a little too runny if you try to serve it right away. And then if you want to get that really great golden top, you can always throw it under the broiler for about 5 minutes once it's done cooking, and it'll really kind of crisp up the cheese. I happen to love that. That is it for this week in the Cucina. Guys, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Cara Di Falco, and of course, this recipe is all written out for you at caradifalco.com. I'll see you guys next time. Buon appetito.